It's over. It is over. And I can honestly say that race was shit.
Damn right.
There's no other words to describe it. Look, we know Lewis Hamilton's won the title. We know Mercedes have won the Constructors' title. We know this. But being the last race of the season, it would be nice to see an exciting race. It would be. But what did we see? We saw TOTO in the paddock playing Toon Blast on his phone. They had to bring Ted Kravitz into the studio to try and strike a conversation because we know what Paul the Rest is like. Talking to him is like talking to a blank wall. We had Crafty come out in the commentary and say, we know it's not the best race of the year. Yeah. The worst race of the year. The worst race of the decade. Never mind the year.
Damn right.
But we soldiered on. We watched the race. Now, Bottas. I'm not sure if they turned the engines down. Power unit, whatever they was doing. But they could at least put more effort into it. A little bit more effort, especially from Bottas' view. From Bottas' side. They're all saying now it's hard to follow the cars. Every time you get like 2 seconds behind the car starts swerving. Lewis Hamilton's complaining to the broadcaster saying, I hope next year's cars are going to be better to follow. No, not really. Well, this year's car is going to be in next year's car. The only difference is that the cars next year is going to be a little bit slower. That's it. So, is the season next year going to be better than this year? This year was okay. It wasn't the best season and it wasn't the worst season. It was up and down. It had its parts. Like Silverstone when the Hamilton tyres broke up and he finished the race. And you had other times when that stunning lap at Hamilton in the rain where him and Max Verstappen were gunning for pole position. That was good as well. I think that was at Austria again 2.0. We had look. There was a few pointers for the season. It wasn't the worst season, and it wasn't the best season. But this race to finish off the season of this 2020 season, I know we were lucky to even get 17 races, but the 2020 season finishing at Abu Dhabi. Listen, we need to start rethinking this. We need to start rethinking it. Should we have the end of the 2020 season, 2021 season at Abu Dhabi? Maybe we should bring Abu Dhabi near the front. Maybe third or fourth race of the season. Maybe next to Bahrain because they're both close together. Bahrain's not that far away from Abu Dhabi. Maybe we should have Abu Dhabi and Bahrain back to back.
Yes.
We need something better for the end of the season. Even Crafty was talking about it. Ted said maybe they should make the track a little bit wider. Somehow make the track a little bit wider. Because passing here is like trying to pass at Monaco. Nearly impossible. Nearly impossible. And the race today showed it. It showed it, man. It showed it. There's nothing to talk about here. Nothing to talk about. Lights out of the way we go. Max Verstappen left into first place. Bottas stayed second. Hamilton stayed third. That's it. Hamilton finished over 8 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas. That shows that Mercedes was turning down the engine. We know this. Max Verstappen knows this. Talked about it in his interview after the race. He said Mercedes probably turned the engine down. But at the end of the day, we still won the race. Yes, he did. And it was nice to see someone else winning a race apart from Mercedes. The point is, the race was dog shit. Utterly shit. And if you don't agree with me, suck my balls. Very, very simple. You know what? If you don't like it, unsubscribe. I don't give a shit. If you don't like it, do one. Because this race was dog shit. We had more fun watching TOTO on his phone playing F1 Manager. That's probably what he's playing as well, F1 Manager. Because TOTO was falling asleep. Literally falling asleep. I think he got off the chair, started sitting at some dirty sofa in the back with the spring sticking up. Just there on his phone. He was ready. Look, his foot was halfway on the plane. TOTO Wolf. I think I had about 10 cups of coffee to stay awake. Even though I had 9 hours sleep last night, I'll come and watch this race. I was drinking at least 9 cups of coffee. Black. This is my 10th one. That's it. Usually I've got my notes all set out. About a few sentences. I usually got about 20 sentences. Little 20 bullet note sentences, bullet points. You know how many notes I got on here? 4. 4 bullet points. Lights out of the way we go. Middle sector pitting and end of the race. Nothing happened. Nothing. People are going to go, oh yeah, but the midfield battle with McLaren at Racing Point. Listen, that was over before it even started. McLaren had the 2 cars in front. They was always going to win the Constructors even before the race, coming third in the Constructors. It was always going to happen. So don't tell me it was exciting there. No. I got more exciting at the end seeing Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris getting an interview of, you know what, I tell you what, the best thing that stood out for me watching this race, getting it, when they got pulled the rest off the TV, they said to pull the rest out, do one. Let's have these 2 guys in front of you, Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. That was the highlight of my day. Never mind the race. The highlight of my day. Getting Paul the rest there off the screen. Off. Get off. There's nothing to talk about. People are going to come on my channel they're going to say you're being negative. You're being negative. No, I'm not being negative. I'm a realist. And if you don't agree with me, unsubscribe and do the fuck one. Do the fuck one. Don't even make sense. But do one. You can't come at me on my comment section and start saying to me, this was a positive race. If you come and say that, you're benched. Simple. Race day review. Here we go. Max gets a good start. Bottas struggles in the first corner. Like he's done all season. He gets pole and then he goes, for you concern, all concern, whatever he says. This is for you, whoever concerned. I don't know what the fuck he says. I don't give a shit what he says. So he comes in the first corner. He struggles in the first corner. You know what? Hamilton could have passed him if he wanted to. I don't care what anybody says. Hamilton could have passed Bottas. He could have. But he didn't. He just thought, you know what? I'll give him second. Stop him crying. Because he got embarrassed last week by George Russell. Hamilton shouldn't have even been there. If Hamilton ain't going to turn up the engine, if Hamilton ain't going to try to get third place or try and win the race, you could have stayed at home. You could have went home in your lovely apartments in Monaco, wherever your house, or somewhere in Hollywood, wherever you live, California, with your nice Ferrari you got, which I wish I had. A lovely Ferrari. Very good. Limited edition, by the way, I think. He could have went and let George Russell have his seat for this weekend. He didn't need to be here this weekend. He won the title. He basically signed his contract. He said he wants his contract done before Christmas. That contract is already done. That contract was done months ago. He's just trying to wind the Sky Sports F1 team up, the press. That contract is done. He didn't need to turn up. George Russell would have gave it more effort than both of them. George Russell could have had to go to beat Max Verstappen. If you're just going to play silly games and go just sit behind each other, that's not what we want to see as fans. We want to see you fight. We want to see all of them fight. This is the last race of the season. I know it's been a short season, but it doesn't matter. It's the last race of the season. And they should have put more fight in it. Actually, the highlight of my weekend as well was seeing Alonso in that flipping 2005 Renault. That was ace. I watched that documentary. Go and check that documentary. It's on F1 YouTube. Go and check that out. So, lap 2, Gasly does a good takeover to Ocon. Yeah. Which, do I care about? No. Lap 10, Perez breaks down. It was all over for Perez. I still think he's going to Red Bull. I'm going to stick to it. I'm not going to switch like a lot of people are doing on YouTube. Hold on. I'm not going to switch. I still think Perez is going to Red Bull. And something what Christian Horner said today. They asked him, is Perez going to Red do you think Albon done a good race today? He said, yeah, Albon done a good race today. And he actually highlighted it today. So that's making me think, you know what, they're going to edge towards Perez. Because he probably, yeah, Albon done a good race today, but what about the rest of the races? What about the other 16 races where he was dog shit? Exactly. Max pits, they had a safety car because he broke down Perez. They had a safety car. Max pits and Hamilton and Bottas the pits. So they all come out the pit lane. Max stays in front. Bottas second. Hamilton third. So that's how it was for the whole of the race. And then Hamilton was on the radio after the pits. He come up on the radio and he goes, the balance in my car doesn't feel right. The balance he's gone. He was saying it doesn't feel right. We need to sort the balance of the car out. I said, fair enough. Whatever, man. I don't give a shit. If he's playing mind games and ever, you're third place. Sainz, his goals under invest. This is what, listen, I thought, what the, you know what? Listen, I know, all right, you get a penalty for going in the pit lane too fast. Okay, I get it. You approach the pit lane, he's too fast, you get a penalty. I get it. But how can you even attempt to try and get a penalty? Yeah, if you're going too slow in the pit. I've never heard of anyone getting a penalty going slow in the pit. But anyway, he's under investigation for going too slow in the pit. Sainz. So whatever, man. Lap 22. Charles starts moaning about his tyres. Everybody starts passing him on lap 22. Yeah. Vettel was clever. He was on the hard compound. He come out when he started the race. He was on the hard. That's been Vettel's compound for the last 6 races. I'm gonna go in the hard in the beginning and try and go as long as I can. That's a survival mode. That's just Vettel for you. Survival mode. Sebastian Vettel. The survivor mode. So lap 24, Lewis said to Bottas. He said on the radio to his engineer. I mean to Bottas. It's Bono. Is Bottas struggling? So I think maybe we're going to start getting some excitement in this race. Maybe Hamilton's going to start pushing past Bottas and try and have a go at Max Verstappen. But it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. He's second. If anything, Hamilton was struggling with his tyres. Lap 25. Lap 25. Max started adjusting his differential in his car. Lap 43. Bottas was on the radio. His engineer come on the radio and he said, "Start pushing, Bottas." This was lap 43, and he goes, "Okay." I think then he was about 8 seconds behind Max Verstappen at lap 43, and he said, "Look, start pushing." Bottas says, I think he said copy. I don't really know, but he started pushing. Didn't really push, did he? Because 8 seconds gap became 11 seconds gap, so the pushing didn't really work. So I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he's shit in his cockpit and the car was heavier. I don't know if he's had a dodgy foot or something, but that 8 second gap between him and Max Verstappen become 11 seconds. So again, it goes back to, and then look, there was no entertaining through the race at all. They were showing different parts of the track. They were showing Toto, like I said at the beginning, playing Toon Blast on his phone or playing Formula Manager. So you look at, Toto knew what was going on. They went in there, when they didn't get pole, their strategy was to say, you know what, we won the championship, we won the Drivers' Championship, we've got nothing to play for, we want to save our engine, and they want to turn the engine down. That was their plot today, and it showed. It showed that Toto's game was to just turn the engine down and just stay in second and third, get on the podium, finish off the season. We'll go home to our houses, go home to our holidays, enjoy ourselves, have a good winter, come back next season and win every single race of the season. That's their plan. So that was it for the whole of the race. Nothing. That investigation what Sainz was under, they said they're going to let him know after the race. So I don't understand why they said that, but that's what they said. They said we're going to let him know after the race what's going on. And that was it. The race finished. Max Verstappen came on the radio being all confident, saying, you know what, you want me to turn the radio down? I mean, do you want me to turn the engine down? Because Mercedes were nowhere. Max knows what was going on. Max knows that Mercedes turned the engine down. And that's all it was. They turned the engine down. And that's all it was. And it was just 1, 2, 3. I think Max come first. Second was Bottas and third was Hamilton. That was the worst race I've seen in the last 10 years. 10 years. I didn't even want to even do this review. There was nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. Absolutely dog shit. Let's just get this on now and just end this. Just end this torture. So we've got the final standings, the results. We have Max Verstappen first, second Valtteri Bottas, third Lewis Hamilton, fourth Alexander Albon, fifth place Lando Norris, sixth place Carlos Sainz, seventh place Daniel Ricciardo, eighth place Pierre Gasly, ninth place Esteban Ocon, 10th place Lance Stroll, 11th place Daniel Kvyat, 12th place Kimi Räikkönen, 13th place Charles Leclerc, 14th place Sebastian Vettel, 15th place George Russell, 16th place Antonio Giovinazzi, 17th place Nicholas Latifi, 18th place Kevin Magnussen, 19th place Pedro Fittipaldi, and Sergio Perez got a DNF to do, he didn't finish. So that was it. Let's do the Drivers' Championship. We know Lewis has won the title. We'll just do the final standings because it's the last race of the season. We've got Lewis Hamilton on 347, Bottas second, third place Max Verstappen, fourth place Sergio Perez. So Perez got fourth, fifth place Daniel Ricciardo, sixth place Carlos Sainz, seventh place Alexander Albon, eighth place Carlos Sainz. You can't have Albon finish in seventh place and then you got Perez finishing fourth place. It's a done deal. And if you don't agree with me, just do one. Because if you know anything about racing, it's a done deal. Sergio Perez has got to be going to Red Bull. Has to be. So 8th place Charles Leclerc, 9th place Lando Norris, 10th place Pierre Gasly, 11th place Lance Stroll, 12th place Esteban Ocon, 13th place Sebastian Vettel, 14th place Daniel Kvyat, 15th place Nico Hülkenberg, 16th place Kimi Räikkönen, 17th place. It's funny that is Nico Hülkenberg had 1 or 2 races this year and he's still hiding Kimi Räikkönen, Antonio Giovinazzi, George Russell, Romain Rolland, Kevin Magnussen, and Nicholas Latifi and Jack Aitken. He's had 1 race and Pedro Fittipaldi, and that's it. That's how we finish. And it's over. Teams: Mercedes champions, second Red Bull, third place McLaren take that third place. Constructors beaten by 7 points. Fair play to them. Beat Racing by 7 points in fourth place. Fifth place Renault, sixth place Ferrari, seventh place AlphaTauri, eighth place Alfa Romeo, ninth place Haas, and 10th place Williams. Renault, this is the last season we're going to see Renault in Formula 1. That's name Renault. They're going to be Alpine next year. I'm looking forward to Alonso coming back. Let's see if there's any interviews. So we've got interviews by we'll have a few interviews that I've been in the last race. Let's start with George Russell. Seeing Bottas in Maria was like Sekia, except he was lapping me. So basically Bottas lapped him because he's in a Williams. So let's start with George Russell. Advertising guaranteed.
Hello guys, I'm Tiago.
Don't care. So we're going to start these interviews now. I'm going to pause the volume. Pause this.
Hiya George.
Hi Lawrence.
Different car obviously this weekend into last weekend. How was that race versus last weekend really, I guess?
When I looked in my mirrors with 5 laps remaining, it felt pretty similar to last week because I had, they said on radio, Valtteri's behind, but this time he was lapping me, so it was, a little bit different, but nevertheless, we made the most of it. I look back on this season with a lot of pride with the step we've made forward as a team. When you look back on last year, we were so far behind. We're still far from where we want to be. And me personally as a driver, ups and downs, a lot to be proud of, a lot to be, learned from. Imola, proper rookie era, and obviously last week in Bahrain, the great opportunity I had with Mercedes, and you know it's been an emotional and intense season on and off the circuit. So some well-earned rest for probably all the drivers and every single person in the paddock, including all of you guys behind the camera.
Imola still seems like it's paining you, but when you look overall at the season, it feels like you've just come on leaps and bounds from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. As a team, as a driver, I've been trying to push myself week in, week out to improve, because I know, in the future, I want to be fighting for victories, and if I'm battling with Lewis, Max, Charles, those guys are assessing the level at the moment. Danny Rick as well. I need to keep pushing myself, and I was so grateful to get the chance last week to sort of see where I was against somebody who's obviously pushed Lewis quite a lot.
So that was George Russell speaking. We're going to try and get on to the next one. There's not many interviews at the moment. I'm trying to find something. We have Lance Stroll, Racing Point, pace never lasted.
Hey Lance, it looked like a tough afternoon out there, culminating with a good little battle with your mate Esteban at the end.
Yeah, I don't know, our tyres died at the end, so we need to look at why.
Were you quite surprised by the lack of pace generally
Yeah,
today?
I am. We had good pace at some stages of the race, but it never lasted.
Yeah, he was a bit pissed. It looked like he was pissed off with Esteban. I can when I saw the interview on Sky Sports F1. But I think he's just disappointed that they missed out on constructors. You got to look with a DNF by Perez a couple of weeks ago, another DNF by Perez again, and that's cost them the constructor, because if Perez wouldn't have had that DNF 2 weeks ago and not today, and they wouldn't have had that penalty with that to start the back of the grid, Perez, and he would have started in a decent place, probably 4th or 5th place. They would have got the constructors, and that's what cost them, and they know it. And that's why Lance Stroll is pissed off, and it's understandable. They're missing out on a lot of money. It's in 3rd and 4th place, there's a lot of money. I've built millions and millions difference between 3rd and 4th, and I've missed out. So we're going to have Daniel Ricciardo. We'll have Albon. We'll have Albon. Alexander Albon is proud of one of my strongest weekends. The only weekend you were strong, by the way. So we're going to play this video.
Alex, a couple of seconds off Lewis Hamilton to end the year. That's got to be pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it was one of my strongest weekends. So happy with how it went. Obviously, a couple more laps would have been very nice, but yeah, it was just good. It was a good race for me. I felt like on all tyres we were relatively competitive. Obviously, the car was really good and a good result for the team.
And I guess the best way that you can end the season as we wait and see what happens for you next year.
Exactly. I think, this weekend, going into this weekend, all it was do the best job I can and leave it into the hands of the others. And yeah, on my side, I'm happy with how I've delivered. Obviously, under the circumstances and all the talks, it was quite a weird feeling going into the weekend, but to have a good result, yeah, relatively proud.
Yeah, proud today. But you're not getting that seat. I just don't think he's getting that seat next year. So we're going to have Pedro Fittipaldi, showed what we could do, and he's grateful for the chance racing at Heart. It'd be nice to see him on the circuit next year, but obviously he's going to be Timiza Mazepin, Nikita Mazepin, and Schumacher. So, Mick Schumacher, we're going to play this video.
Hello, guys.
This weekend, it must have been nice to just have a second full weekend after a good basis last weekend. And how did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, a lot more confident coming into it from qualifying. We're very competitive in qualifying, and in the race as well. Started the race, it was a bit crazy, but we raced a lot better. Then I started saving my tires a bit in the beginning, and we started picking up pace. I was able to overtake Kevin. I started catching Latifi there towards first half of the race. Unfortunately, we had some, I think, overheating thing in the engine that we had to do a pit stop to fix. So that ruined our race. But I was really happy with how we progressed. I mean, the pace we had You know, we're able to fight with Kevin, do some overtaking, and then, you know, start fighting with the Williams. So I was really happy about that. The team did a great job in such a short time to get me ready. And I think, you know, we showed what we could do, you know. So what happens when preparation meets opportunity, you know, good things happen. So I'm really happy, you know, with this opportunity, and I'm very grateful.
So he knows he's not going to be there next season, so he's being respectful for his team, and he's saying he's going to be there. He's happy for the opportunity. You never know, next year anything could happen. You might be back in that car. You don't know. Anything can happen in Formula One. So we're going to have two more. We're going to have Daniel Ricciardo, and we're going to have three more. We're going to have Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, and we're going to have Kimi Räikkönen. So let's go for Esteban Ocon. He says the car came alive. The car came alive for late Stroll overtake.
Hello, guys.
It looked like a challenging day out there for you, but as you switched tyres, things seemed to come alive a little bit more.
Not really. I would say it was still a challenging day for us in the first stint. I think you know, there are a few things we could probably review with strategy, and things that, you know, was not easy for us with the car in the first stint. When we pitted, then, you know, we got stuck on the Ferrari, so that cost us overall race time. But towards the end, yeah, the car was coming nicely alive, and I was enjoying that. And I got Lance in the last lap, so that was nice. You know, big push towards the end there. The guys were happy. A couple of donuts as well, which was nice. You know, it's a shame we didn't get better in the Construction Championship. We thought until the end, but you know, there are still things that you know, we can improve on this year, and we'll be ready for next year.
And it's been a really strong end to the year, that podium obviously. Are you pretty happy with how things have kind of gone for you as the year's progressed?
Definitely, yeah. I'm pretty pleased with how the season has ended. For me, the progression throughout the year, I think it's a pretty solid end. So yeah, definitely looking to start the year like that.
So yeah, solid season definitely towards the end for Ocon. So we've got Daniel Ricciardo. Abu Dhabi was like a time trial, but happy with that fast lap. There you go.
Hello, guys. I'm T.
An exciting race for you today. I thought you went deep, you gave it a go, and you got some points.
Yeah, it was a race of. It's kind of one of those races where there wasn't so much action per se, as far as I wasn't overtaking or defending a whole lot, but I just had the whole race for me felt like a bit of a time trial, and I was just trying to really go long and fast on the hard and gap the others, and that was a really strong stint. I think that was the car felt good, and yeah, we were able to basically slot in back behind the McLarens from a safety car restart. So I think that was really nice, and then at the end, I really risked it all to get the fastest lap. I mean, I get a point, it doesn't change anything, but I think honestly to send off in terms of, you know, my last lap in this car, for it to be the fastest on track, it's a nice way to say goodbye to the team and I guess to thank them.
Was it a little bit emotional? I liked the mask that you were rocking earlier as well.
Yeah, that was a gift from the team. That was a little send off, and yeah, I think today actually I didn't really allow myself to, you know, think about it, but when I walked into the paddock today, actually I walked in with Cyril and we started talking, and yeah, that was where it kind of started to sink in. But yeah, out there today on the track, it felt good, it felt great. There was just a nice, yeah, it's nice to have a strong car with the last one, you know, like to finish on a high and everyone has a good feeling. That's the way you want to do it, so I'm pleased.
And Renault might have been beaten by McLaren for P3 in the Constructors, but that's obviously where you're going next year.
Yeah, as I walked out of Parc Fermé, I saw the team, Carlos and Lando and their crew celebrating, so I assume they got it done. And yeah, I mean, all these things count obviously for constructors, and so obviously looking at next year, that's a nice little positive. But yeah, it's a hell of a fight all year, you know, third, fourth, fifth. Unfortunately, we were there in fifth, but it was so close. So I think to put it up to the other teams, I think, yeah, Renault have to be happy with the 12-month turnaround.
So yeah, Ricardo will be going to McLaren next year. And yeah, and getting fastest lap at the end. It was I think it was Max Verstappen who had the fastest lap at one time. Because when the race finished, Christian Horner came on the radio, said to Max Verstappen that you've got the fastest lap, and then no, it was Ricardo. So that's it really. We've got one more I think we've got one more. Kimi Räikkönen, it's not long. Let's see if we've got any more. No, that's it. Nothing. We've got Kimi Räikkönen. Yep, we've got Kimi Räikkönen. We were surprisingly close to the points. Abu Dhabi.
Hi Kimi, the last couple of races Alfa haven't really had the speed, but here it looked like you looked a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I think everything seems to work as it should, but we're still a bit too slow, and but we were surprisingly close to the points. It wasn't far. I could see them pretty much all the time, but yeah, we did what we could.
Looking back at the rest of the year, is it just nice to finish on a slightly stronger note?
Doesn't really make any difference in the end. Obviously, it was very early on, very clear that it's going to be a difficult year, and that's how it turned out to be. And I think for quite a long time, the aim has been 8 in a team championship, and that's only what we could fight for. And you know, we managed to keep it, so you know, at least something.
So that is the last interview. I hope whoever's watching this enjoyed the season. Part of it. There was highs and lows, like I told you at the beginning of the video. There was some good races, there was some crap races, but today to me was the worst race of the season. And it's a shame because it's the last race of the season. Really, this should be the most exciting one. Maybe they're going to modify the track that was talking about it. The commentators, maybe they could make it a little bit, make the corners a little bit wider because the overtaking is absolutely terrible. And for a last race of the season, there should be more overtaking opportunities for the drivers to make the race more exciting because it's the last race of the season. But that's me for 2020. I'm still gonna make my videos. I still got I'm gonna be doing classic races every week or every 2 weeks. Look out for that for my channel. I'll be reviewing classic races, maybe live. I might get some live footage on there. Not live footage, but video footage for you guys to see. And I could be reviewing the video while we watch it together. So look out for that as well. So basically, I might have the video. So if I pick Monaco 88 or something, I might put that up on my channel, on my Twitch channel, or my YouTube channel. And I might have my camera in the corner and I can review it while I watch it. So yeah, that could be something we might be looking at coming soon to my channel. And if you want a decent track guide, TOTO Wolf, I highly recommend TOTO Wolf. He's my counterpart. He does the best track guides on the YouTube. Check his channel out. All descriptions going to be below. Check notifications as well. We're going to finish today with Vettel. Vettel's 2020 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix goodbye to Ferrari after the final race. And it's 1 minute and 9 seconds long. And that's how I'm going to finish this weekend, this season. So this is Solo P1 signing out. See you, and I do appreciate the likes and the views as well. This is Solo P1 signing out. See you later. Look out for my future videos. Bye. And listen to Vettel's final goodbye to Ferrari. Guarantee advert.
Hello guys.
See? Sorry about that. I meant Toto Hammer, not Toto Wolf. So Toto Hammer, check out his channel in the description below. I wish it was Toto Wolf.
Voi siete la squadra rossa, appassionati, arreterete mai. La mia fermato sta arrivando, mi è piaciuto stare con voi. Sentito la vostra magia, un sensazione straordinaria. Ragazzi, mi ringrazio per avermi, mi mancherete. rete. Un saluto a tutti voi a Maranello, meritate, menzionato qui. E adesso io quasi quasi dirò addio e auguro il meglio, auguro di essere felice ma di più essere sano. Tarara, tarara. Grazie.